Hey YouTube, Kiraqualia here, bringing you guys one of my new video specials. Today we'll be going through a Cardfight Vanguard market price watch. I thought I'd do this just because I love looking at the hype of cards, seeing price increases of different varying cards depending on support coming out and such. So I thought I came up with a couple cards I found most significant with the new meta coming out to go through. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Start off, you can see here we have Heart Thump Worker. This card has jumped up a lot compared to other hollow critical triggers for other clans. The reason being is the new Gears of Fate booster pack that was released. I think we are getting a release, a reprint of Heart Thump Worker in the first character booster, but until then, I don't see any change for the card. I think it's going to remain at this price until then because all Gear Chronicle decks that run Chrono Jet have to run for this, and the fact that set GBTO2 is out of print means that it's going to be a lot more difficult to get this card for said decks, making it probably the most hyped critical trigger out there. Next up we have Demiurge. This was the G-Guardian for the Gears of Fate pack. I think it's settled now at around $8. I don't see it doing too much increase. In the end, Demiurge is more of a fun deck than anything, so you have to go off of that. It's not really needed in any of the other Gear Chronicle decks. You don't really run it in Chrono Jet or Chrono Fang unless you're going for the Zodiac Demiurge build, in which case you wouldn't even want to run 4 at max. You'd want to run 1 or 2 of this card, putting it at said price. But I find it's, a fair price. Like I said, not too needed as the other 2 triple rares in the pack, which are Gear Groovy and Chrono Tiger Rebellion, which we'll get to. Gear Groovy has settled. It was in the $35 range upon the release of Gears of Fate. Now it's at $17 to $18, which is what I think it'll stick at for a good while, at least until the pack is out of print. It might also fluctuate a bit with Gear Chronicle topping. The deck already tops enough as is. We want to see how Gear Groovy affects the meta play for Gear Chronicle decks. If it does well and people run a good variety, I see 2 at max. It's a 1 card combo play. It really fills up the stride zone and makes you run through your stride zone fast, so I don't see it being a 4 card play, which also sets it at this price. But like I said, when the pack goes out of print, we'll see a change to this card most definitely. We also have Chrono Tiger Rebellion setting in at $18. Both of the cards are around the $35 range and $25 beforehand during sneak preview and a first initial pack release. The $18 range is fine. It gives the pack validity, showing that it's a good pack and that it has money worth cards in it. Especially if you pull both of the cards, you'll make your money's worth with just the triple rares alone. And Chrono Tiger Rebellion is also needed in the Chrono Tiger deck. It's probably one of the most important strides next to Timebind Dragon, so making it a must-have of 4 because the quadruple drive with extra critical trigger is great pressure, making it very highly sought after. Moving on, we have Aerial Divine Knight Altmile. Royal Paladins have also picked up with more popularity with the announcement of the character booster, so you have to guess that Altmile would jump up in price. I think set 4 is also heading out of print, so you have to go with that. Also knowing that the card will be harder to obtain. I'm not sure if this card has been confirmed for reprint in the next set character booster, but either way, it's much needed. $30 price range is very expensive. I didn't think it would ever reach the $30 range. It always stood at the $20 range. The fact that it jumped up to $30 definitely surprised me. Might drop down a little bit later on, seeing what other Royal Paladin strides we get, especially for the Brave decks. We have Dismal also. The card dropped down to around $7 to $8 for a good while back in earlier around September until the release of VMAX in the new GBTO9 booster pack, which made this card jump back up in price with its effect to damage your opponent for having no rear guards. Made Dismal a little more essential to counteract the deck, which is what I think this is kind of just a hype price bump at first, but we'll see how it sticks because we have to see how Vanquisher does in the metagame also before we make final judgments on where Dismal's price should be. But Dismal is the one thing that keeps your deck from losing a rearguard for that damage gain. You can protect your rearguard with Dismal and not have it be killed by VMAX's effect and therefore not taking the damage, which is, this is the only card I see that can fight that ability at the moment also. We also have Dragon Dancer Anastasia for the deck as well. The card is very important, basically because unflip perfect guards, the deck will probably be very counterblast heavy with Chanbara, your grade 2, and Vanquisher's Break Stride effect, along with stride costs, so you want as much damage on flipping power as you can. And as most unflip perfect guards go, countercharge perfect guards, you always see a price increase with these cards, regardless of clan. I've seen it with Great Nature, I've seen it with Murakamo, all those jump up in price when new support is announced. Moving along, we see Blackwing Swordbreaker is also dropped in price. I think mostly this card dropped in price because the reprint was announced in the Revival Collection, which hasn't scared too many cards in price dropping. Lambros and Orgeyser have retained their price range, which is $25 to $30 range, even though they have confirmed reprints, probably just because they don't know what the set ratios are. The fact that this card got a reprint and the fact that it's bounced so much, it's gone from the single digit to double digit range overnight, just because of hype of Shadow Paladins and plays. I know a lot of people will probably want to build the deck, so if they want to grab these cards, they'll have to look for that to do so. And yeah, that is it for my first Cardfight Vanguard price market discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and definitely look forward to me doing more of these. I love looking at the card prices, like I've said before. It's always fun to do. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kiraqualia out.